Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink for the 3-wall ball outdoor World Championships. Changing gears just a little bit, went from small ball finals to a round of 64 men's big ball match between Daniel Cordova, one of the flying Cordova brothers, and Gamino, who is his sparring partner here.
One
Gamino.
half of the flying Cordovas played an epic doubles match this morning, Dave. 15-13, 13-15, 15-12. It couldn't have been really any closer. The flying Cordovas losing that one in small ball doubles to Vic Perez and Jarrell Bastidas. And Daniel is also in the X Fest. He picked up quarterfinal points in the small ball singles, which is a good start. But he'll need to add to that total if he wants to be in the discussion for X Fest champion. You'd think he would need at least one win in his remaining 2 events and one at least semifinal finish.
Well, we'll see what happens here as Antonio Gamino is going to go up against Daniel Cordova wearing the green shirt. Our referee is simply one of the greatest outdoor 3-wall big ball players of all time, Samson Hernandez. So he's going to call a clean game. He knows the rules about as good as anybody does. You're watching this WPH Live TV broadcast alongside 3-wall ball.
You guys know the rules?
World Outdoor Racquetball, Paddleball, the National Paddleball Association helping out. And a whole slew of sponsors and donors and volunteers and those that have really given a lot of time to make this thing successful, to include, not limited to, Stratosphere Hotel, as they're hosting and their employees doing a tremendous job. Of course. Gamino, Dave, we haven't seen him in any of our live broadcasts. He's from Oxnard, California.
All right, guys.
Or as they actually say there, Oxnard, California.
Antonio, it's going to be up to 12. Everything counts. You can serve wherever you want. No wraparound serve. Lines are good. Even on the short line is good. All right. Rally scoring, everything counts. Up to 12 points. You serve them.
Samson got most of the rules right.
Win by 2. All right. 0, serve 0.
The line really doesn't come into play, the short line that is, in big ball serving. See most of the serves well past the short line.
Point.
Daniel, not known to be a big ball player, but
1, serve 0.
I believe he grew up playing with every type of ball that handball produces and should be good at all of them in every form of the game. I mean, he's definitely an X-Fest threat, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Although he's playing 1-wall, small ball, he's never played it before.
1 serves 1.
That just surprises me. Great return right there from Daniel, now living in Atlanta, Georgia.
2 serves 1.
Daniel's the 2015 Race Freight Rookie of the Year.
Ball, sorry.
You remember he had that breakthrough season, and he's been very steady since, maintaining his top 8 ranking for all but 1 month
2
of
serves
the last 2.5 years.
Point.
If you're going mobile and you want to watch this live broadcast and the continued stream from WPH Live TV, then do so on your R2 Sports app, because we are sharing this with R2 Sports.
3 serves 3.
Or maybe even vice versa. Make sure to download that app in the Play Store, your App Store.
4 serves 3.
You can access scores, follow players. Dave, I see that you're one of the most followed handball players.
Really?
Yeah, you have tons of followers on R2.
Didn't know that.
I have a dilemma. Do you follow those that are following you
3.
just to say, hey, thanks, or do you
hold it,
act self-pretentious and just
a little bit of help?
Yeah.
I think the latter.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretentious.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me call score.
Antonio's now served twice.
Let me call score.
Neither counted.
All right, replay. 5 serves 3.
The man from Oxnard, Dave, has a very good serve out to the left. It's caused Daniel some problems here. Let's see if he goes back to it, and he does.
Side out.
That one goes up in the netting.
Goggle change? All right.
We have another live broadcast
2
coming
minutes.
up here in early October, as we will be in Atlanta.
Right.
And Daniel Cordova already said that they'll be hosting.
7:15.
Trying to pull out all the stops on the 4-wall professional handball tour. Is this our 7th season, or is it the 8th?
Coming up on the 7th.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be
All
lucky
right.
number 7.
Resume play. Ready?
You can find that
4
information
serves 5.
on our website, or go to R2 Sports to get that bit of knowledge. And there's another point there for Daniel Cordova.
You see the wind is really wreaking havoc. It's only about 10 miles per hour right now, but with the big ball, it's enough to move it around. That's why you're
5
seeing a lot
serves
of
5.
these mishits. And win or lose,
Set
Dave,
out.
Antonio will go home with the best hair of the event award.
Yeah, they handed him the trophy on that. It's
6
actually
serves 5.
a bottle of Paul Mitchell
Short.
Yeah.
Side out.
stylizing gel, which I think is apropos.
6 serves 6.
He said, I don't use that, but I respect Paul Mitchell. That's
Well,
why.
he has a sponsor with Vidal Sassoon,
Side out.
so he's not going to break that sponsorship, but he does still appreciate
7 serves 6.
the gesture and the award.
Well, sometimes it's about the gesture. Now, coming up next after this one, it is
Point.
Luis Cordova, right? His
Right.
brother going to play Vic Perez. That's going to be a
8
battle.
serves 6.
2 non-traditional big ball players, wall ball players, who focus on the small ball game. You'd say the advantage would go to Vic Perez since he started playing at a young age with the big ball.
That
ball
seemed good.
skipped.
It was just a bad bounce. It's point.
I guess apparently that ball
9
hit
serves 6.
that ledge,
Yeah.
and I think all bad bounces are good out here. So
Danos looks completely out of sorts right now. Made a lot of errors. He's not able to put the ball away, but of course the announcer's
Side
curse
out.
comes into play. And that was a big point for him to win.
Time out. You got 1 minute. 9-7.
And Dave, the weather in Oxnard is nothing like it is here. And you see a lot of these players that are coming from sea level are not used to this thin air. They can't, their mouth gets very dry. They have a hard time breathing. And I remember, Dave, when
I
I
had to.
came to this event in the first couple years when I lived in
Huh?
Pittsburgh, I had a very hard
No,
time
man.
breathing. Felt like I
No,
couldn't
didn't
drink
rip.
enough water. But I think living in Tucson now,
Well, put out
and
small
for
ball,
those
yeah.
that live in more of a desert climate, they're more acclimated to this sort of
That's the way.
weather.
yeah, the players don't have, or they're not afforded what we have up here in our broadcast booth with the air conditioning, and
Right. They're also not allowed in this
Yeah.
broadcast.
that's true.
So,
That's
whether they were,
if they knew that that existed, they would be here
yeah,
alongside the pink champagne and our velvet Elvis paintings that we have specially put up.
of course you can gain access here if you bring lunch or dinner, but then
That's a different thing.
how are you
yeah.
going to carry that lunch up this ladder? Because if you fall off that ladder, it's over.
Yeah,
for
También
you.
tienen,
I mean-
tienen nergars.
that's a good point.
All right, time in, man.
Danos got himself back into this game by winning that last rally. Remember, if he would have lost that last rally, he's down 10-6 in rally scoring. Very hard to come back from that. 7-9, more manageable.
7 serves 9.
He has not forced Antonio to hit the ball with his left very often, and that's going to be
Point.
Antonio's weak spot.
That was a nice little dig out return killer there from Daniel.
They call that a
8
sapo.
serves 9.
You're not going to find that in any dictionary, but use it around these parts and it's very well known.
Over ball.
Danos need to hit that ball just about 2 feet farther to the right, and it would have been out of
8
Antonio's
serves
reach.
9. Side out.
Now, Dave, this may sound like a backhanded compliment to you, but Antonio is much better than I thought he would be watching the warm-ups.
10, serves
So you
8.
take that as backhanded as you want.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound good.
I
Bad ball.
find that completely insulting.
Well, just after I said it, he hit the sidewall with his serve.
Well,
Well, he hit
No
6
sidewall
balls over during
serve.
practice, so
Now he serves 10.
I guess that's an improvement.
That's a good return.
Nice shot there from
Point.
Daniel, who pushes it out that left side door.
And I need to get to at least the round of
10
8
serves
to earn
10.
points. So Daniels is a long way from adding to his X-Fest total. This is a big point here. And Antonio, who's struggling right now, Dave, with the conditions, is just
Possible
1
game
point
serves 10.
from taking a 1-game lead. Let's see if he can keep this serve in play. Plays it safe.
It's a pretty smart shot. Now he has to go to the left here and does it.
Oh, good shot.
That's a great shot, too.
Oh, and Danos with a Sapo there, Dave,
Point.
off the side of his hand. He's aiming 1 foot high there. The ball hits 1 inch high, and now we're
Remember, win by 2. 11 serves 11.
And Dave, the big ball takes away Danos' hop serve. Almost like Happy Gilmore, Dave, when he lost the long
Possible game
drive.
point serves 11. Side out.
We've seen that quite a bit here this week already. On game point, the server serving out. Now Antonio's going to need to score 2 to win
12
this game.
serves 12.
See how safe he plays it here. 2 safe, I believe.
That was pretty safe. But out here, you can win rallies. That ball looked like it just died on that first bounce. Did you see that?
I did.
And I think that's the wind that you were talking about. The wind's blowing in on these courts right now, and that ball just deadened.
Possible game point.
And now
serves
we are
12.
at game point. 13 to 12 here. There it is. First
Point.
game going to
Good game, fella.
Antonio
You guys got 3 minutes.
Gamino from Oxnard, California. World 3-Ball Outdoor Championships. We'll play preliminary rounds. We'll have age division play. You'll see pretty much anything happen. Skill divisions, pros, juniors. Whatever they put on the show court, we put on the live stream, Dave.
You know, Dave, we marvel sometimes at how well these top players are able to cross over with a different ball and a different code. I'm not sure we're marveling right now at Danos' ability. He's not a bad big ball player, but nowhere near where he is with the small ball to this point.
Yeah, I still think he's trying to learn it as he's going on here. Game number 2 coming up here right around the corner. They only have 3 minutes in between games, and if you were ever going to, I would say, lobby for more time between games, it would be in Vegas, where you need to get your water, need to rest a little bit more. Luckily for them, though, the players are at a point where they're in the rally scoring, which is just absolutely perfect in this Vegas weather. You still feel like you have a match, and there is still the excitement, but seems like each one of the games go much quicker. And out here, that sort of...
Well, you have to also understand that you're playing 6 rounds of ball in just 2 days. So I think every player loves to play a long match, but it's just not feasible. You look at a tennis tournament, Dave, the U.S. Open, for example, the men play 3 out of 5 sets, but then they don't play again for 2 days.
We mentioned it earlier, but we do have another round of 64 big ball prelim match coming up next, as brother Luis is going to play Vic Perez. And then tomorrow we're going to dedicate most of our time, if not all of it, to one wall. Tomorrow's it's going to be very interesting. They changed the courts around a little bit here So we're going to have a little bit different dynamic. Going to be fun to film it and check out some of the flavor from New York and across the world, as there's players that have traveled from everywhere to take part in this tournament. And One Wall has sort of stolen the show a couple of the years since we've added it. It's a 3-wall ball outdoor championship, but One Wall kind of excels out here.
Over ball.
And I see Danos coming out with a different strategy already here early in the second game. He got some coaching. He's got both of his coaches here. So he's got almost his whole team here with him. And you see now he's serving deep. You didn't see him serving deep in that first game, but still making the hand errors and still struggling to put the ball away. That was really the difference for Danos in that first game. Could not execute the setups. We talked a little bit, Dave, about playing the serve safe. The problem is if you play it too safe, it's almost as bad as hitting the ball out.
2 serves, 1.
So you're trying to weigh the percentages. It's almost like gambling, that serve.
Well, we don't talk about gambling while we're in Vegas.
That's true. And there's another hand there. It looks like Danos is trying to hit that off the palm of his hand to apply the spin, but just not comfortable enough with it.
Hold on, let me call score first. Let me call score. Then you serve.
Antonio is in a rush to get the serve off. I can tell you, Dave, he's not in a rush to leave the mirror when he's doing his hair. Your hair doesn't look like that after just a couple of minutes.
That's after playing 17 matches and taking no showers. That's how good that hair is.
Well, that's another reason you win the award. It's not just for how you look when you show up. It's how do you look after 4 matches?
Four serves, 2.
You mentioned boxing, Dave, in between matches. Oxnard, California, a huge boxing hub, very similar to kind of Tucson.
I got it.
What Tucson is to handball, Oxnard is to boxing.
All right, you got 1 minute.
Robert Garcia, former contender, leads the gym there with Mikey Garcia, Dave, a name you'll hear a lot of coming up here in the near future.
And since we're obviously going to talk about boxing in between every timeout, talk about Ward's retirement. But in boxing, that's sort of like Cher's farewell tour, right? That means he's going to come back when somebody challenges him.
Right. He needs to wait for a name to build himself up. Somebody like Beterbiev, you know, from Russia. He's already taken care of Kovalev, but, you know, a name like that, one of these Eastern European crushers that's going to come out of nowhere. And I think right now Ward is a little bit delusional on how much he thinks he deserves to be paid based on his market value and what he brings.
Game in.
And also there's really not anyone for him to fight that wants to fight him.
5 serves, 2.
You know, I follow, as we're at 5-2 here in game number 2, I follow the sport so casually, but I try to learn as much as I can. If Andre Ward was walking down the street right now, I couldn't even tell you who he was.
Exactly.
But yet I do know who he is, and I really enjoy listening to his play-by-play and his analysis of the games. But this is a great rally here.
Yeah, beautiful.
But I just couldn't tell you if he's not marketed correctly, I don't think.
I don't think he allows himself to be.
Oh, nice shot.
He has sort of an off-putting personality, and I don't know if it's intentional or
7 serves,
it's just not a personality that connects with people.
That ball hits Danos.
Mayweather, on the other hand, does have an off-putting personality, but it's polarizing. So people are interested. They want him to lose
7
for
serves,
the most part.
2. Point.
And
since we're obviously going to make references about boxing all day today, who has the best personality in boxing? That's a top.
Well, Triple G has a great personality because he combines, you know, his English with a very exciting style in the ring, and people love him. You know, he's attracted a lot of Mexican fans, which is the primary fan base in the U.S., and he's got a big fan base wherever he fights. He's sold out arenas in Europe and New York and Vegas, wherever he goes.
Side out.
Pacquiao has a great personality. He's not fighting much anymore.
He has a good personality.
And Anthony Joshua, who's the new guy in England, who's the heavyweight champion, who, ironically, Andre Ward said he wanted to fight next, and now he's retiring. But Anthony Joshua is a monster of a man, 250 pounds of muscle. In his last fight, sold 90,000 seats, and he's got another fight coming up in about a month where they've already sold 80,000 seats to watch this guy. He's a phenomenon. He had the fight of the year, maybe the fight of the decade against Klitschko in the spring, and people love him.
10 serves 3.
10-3 score here, game 2. It looks like it will go breaker if it continues to seek results like that last shot.
But who, Dave, has that personality?
Handball game point, serves 3.
In handball.
Game.
As this game ends, we stay here. We're going to go to a tiebreaker. That infectious personality, Timothy Gonzalez. I mean,
yeah, it's a combination of a very exciting style of play combined with some sort of charisma, either positive or negative, where you really feel like you need to watch this person play. I think Timbo is a good example. Luis Moreno has it.
Yeah.
Paul Brady has it just because he's so great.
I think it's building on players like Killian Carroll. I think, you know, I hate to say this, but Rookie has
absolutely.
it, right?
No,
I mean, he has it, right?
The first time I saw Rookie, I thought, this guy needs to be in the movies or have his own TV show. I mean, this guy is got the best personality I've ever seen. He can completely take over any room at any time, any tournament.
And he's great.
He's an amazing player. And he's just got this, even when he's arguing, you know, you see other people arguing, it's such a turnoff. You just wish it would stop. And you enjoy his. He makes it fun. The trash talk, he makes it fun. I mean, I feel like the guy could have done anything. Just an incredible talent. And a nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy, too.
I saw him out here reffing this morning at 8 a.m. He wasn't playing until 3.
Well, that's 11 o'clock East Coast time.
Right.
I didn't mean to take down part of your
I think you mentioned a lot
ego
of good
massaging.
guys.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Gio, I think, is also one that is polarizing.
Is there something about the outdoor game that forces you to have more personality? Because we see so many of the four-wall guys are a lot more quiet and a lot less demonstrative. You don't see any four-wall guys really pumping themselves up or...
Emmett Peixote.
Is he pumping himself up? Yeah, I guess. He claps and he gives himself high fives. So, yeah, okay. Emmett, to some degree, but not nearly as demonstrative, I don't think, as a... Well...
You're not giving high fives, though. You are cursing the lights, the maintenance workers, the towel boy.
Just want them to do their jobs properly.
I'm trying to do my job right.
I mean, why shouldn't you want to be great at what you do?
So he serves, right? He made more points, so he serves.
Okay, here we go. Tiebreaker here. This is a preliminary
0-0.
match, round of 64. Only a couple of those.
Point.
Cordova does a nice little underhand push shot there. Right corner gets first point.
Great shot.
1-0.
He has a nice deep serve there. Gets the second point.
Right.
Going to 12. This is rally scoring. Lost the first one. Wins the game number 2.
2-0.
And now Danos in full control here. It seems like he flipped a switch in between the first and second game. He looked very average in that first game. Now he looks like he really knows what he's doing.
Out.
And there is the announcer's curse. Serves that 3 feet out.
And that wasn't the best serve I've ever seen.
Point.
And just like that, Antonio back in this game.
2 serves 3.
Trailed 3-0.
Hold it.
To me, though, Dave Sampson's another one of those guys.
2 serves 3.
Always want to watch his matches.
Point. Gotta get on that ball.
You remember the electricity the first time Timbo and Sampson played 3-wall here. A night match, it was electric. That was when Timbo had that amazing run, took down
Four
four
serves,
top
two.
10 players en route to the semifinals. Really in his first three-wall event.
Point. Five serves, two.
Just too many mistakes right now for the young man from Oxnard.
Point.
And that was a complete whiff.
Six serves, two. Side out. Three serves, six. Point.
Antonio looks really good in these last two rallies.
Four serves, six.
Hard to defend this serve, not that one. But when he gets it out wide to the left, and Danos
Side out.
with an easy re-kill there.
Thank you. Seven serves, four. Point. Thank you. Eight serves, four.
8-4 here.
Point. Nine serves, four. Point.
Now Danny's just scoring points back to back, like you said, scoring at will.
10 serves, four.
Well, he's got a system going, the deep serve and the fly kill.
Over ball.
Deadly combination.
10 serves, four. Bad ball. Floor.
I don't know about that.
Skip.
Referee said it's skip, but that ball came back really fast for a skip.
Timeout.
A lot of crazy little bounces up there. You can see on the front wall. I'm not sure from this angle, but there's a little crack up there, Dave. Did that affect you at all when you played and hit it and said?
I wasn't able to ever hit one that low. I don't know if you saw any of my matches.
I watched it.
I was hitting mostly around where those camera boxes are. Aiming low.
Oh, he has five? I thought he had four. That's what I had. Said he had five.
I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see any of the women's action today, but what a great field the women have here, Dave, in the X-Fest. You've got Martina McMahon coming from Ireland. She's the #2 ranked women's race freight pro. Joined by Danielle Daskalakis, Tracy Davis, Sandy Ng, Ashley Moeller.
Yeah, but there's some women's matches that start about 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
And you're going to see that. And also, there's supposed to be a one-wall match right now between Martina McMahon and Jenny Q. That would be on the show court here at 3 o'clock. And, well, it's past 3 and they're not on. And I just saw Martina sit down in the grandstands, trying to acclimate to the weather. She, by the way, is about as lobster red as you could possibly get for Irish or not.
Goggles, goggles. 4 serves, 10.
Terrible serve there.
Side out.
Didn't have to quite go flying there, did Daniel, but that long reach
Possible game
brings
point,
him to match
serves, 4.
point.
Not just game point, but match point. And
That's
Danny
it.
does it, and he takes down Antonio
Again,
Gamino and advances now to the round of 32 here at the 3-wall ball outdoor world championships. That was the men's pro big ball 3-wall division. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right around the corner for Dave Fink and those helping out with the live broadcast. Linda Manning, Matt Taitano, Kris Gurrad, and of course the Stratosphere and 3-wall ball. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a bit. Another match right around the corner. Stick with us.